It is a Victory Monday here on the Bleav in Steelers show. I'm your host, Mark Bergin, joined by my guy, two-time Super Bowl champion in Pittsburgh Steelers scout, Ike Taylor, IT. Happy Monday to you. It's always good. The Steelers have won 2 in a row. They're sitting at 2-1 atop the AFC North Division. How you feeling this morning, my man?
Real good. As Coach T would say, we're in the business of winning. We don't care how we win. We don't care how we look when we win. We just in the business of winning.
Ike, the Steelers take care of business on the road in Vegas, 23-18. And I'm going to go right from the jump of what I thought determined the outcome of this game. And we were talking some before the pod. Thank you to Josh McDaniels. Thank you for your boneheaded decision at the late in this game to kick the field goal instead of go for the touchdown. When you still needed to score 5 points, you still needed a touchdown to take the lead. I understand his confidence in the defense with about 2.5 minutes left, 2:22 left, the 2-minute warning, 3 timeouts. But with how football is played in 2023, what sold it to me wasn't just what they were saying during the broadcast, the analytics. It was when they showed the cutaway shot to Mike Tomlin, and his facial expression was like, yo, seriously? This is what we're doing? Okay, this is what we're doing. Josh McDaniels gifted this game to the Steelers, and the Steelers win on Sunday night. That's just my opinion.
The Steelers gifted that game win to themselves. So we ain't got nothing to do with other people's decisions. By the end of the day, as long as you got a W on the left-hand column, that's all what matters. That decision being made by Coach Josh Daniels, he can have it. That W that's sitting on the left-hand side of the Pittsburgh Steelers record, we love it.
Ike, the viewers will be able to read between the lines, I hope, in your answer there. I get it. The game shouldn't have been to that point. We'll talk about some of the penalties called against the Steelers and Minkah Fitzpatrick, but not called against Kenny Pickett.
Oh, Lord. Man.
We'll talk some about that. But I cannot hammer home the point hard enough, though, to say the Steelers, and this is where I do credit Matt Canada and Kenny Pickett for having the perfect play dialed up to Allen Robinson in the flat, throwing into a blitz, which is what you're supposed to do, and the execution to get a first down. The Raiders do eventually get the Steelers to punt. It was a great punt by Presley Harvin III, but then the Raiders have to go the full length of the field with like 12 seconds left and no timeouts, and they have to score a touchdown. Again, I thought the Steelers played very well. I thought they were a lot better compared to the first 2 weeks of the season. But it was Josh McDaniels' decision-making, which was just like, hey, Steelers, here's your victory. With how football is played now and what we know about analytics and how this game played out, if you take advantage of other teams' mistakes, and certainly I thought Pittsburgh did that Sunday night.
I mean, if you think about it, just like having penalties. I mean, coaching staff have penalties too, and that's decision-making. So we talked a lot about last week about the Pittsburgh Steelers, offense and the points. We call them penalties. So you can have penalties on the field. You can have penalties as a head coach or coaching staff. And the penalties as a head coach and the coaching staff got everything to do with your decision-making. So, but that's something we can't control if we come in on the W side, on the left-hand column of winning. So we ain't really tripping. We as in the Pittsburgh Steelers, we ain't really tripping. But I get exactly what you're saying. But penalties come all across the board. They can go from referees to players to the coaching staff, to the front office. That's just what it is. So you can start off the season with penalties in the front office and not even know until the season comes. You can start off with penalties in the coaching staff and not even know when the season comes. As a player, you gotta. It's like catching a B on the test. The teacher gonna give you 100. You're gonna start off with 100 in class. Now it's on you if you want. It's on you if you want to study and get to where you need to get to. Now some classes gonna be harder than others, and of course, you might defer. But same way with the coaching staff, you're gonna start off with 100. It's on what you want to do and how you know your personnel. So we can't, in your decision making, we can't help when it comes down to coaching. Man, it's all decision making. So And same thing as a player. It's all decision making. Front office, it's all decision making. So we all start off with 100. Now that's on you what you want to do with it. So that's how I look at when it comes down to winning, man. It's really like a group effort. It's front office, it's coaches, and it's players. But we all starting off with the same number. That's 100. Now whether we keep that 100 or go above that 100 or whether we go down, that determines a lot of things. But it ain't on nobody else. It's on you. If you're gonna hold me accountable, you hold me accountable as a corner. I start off with 100. I might end up with like a 79 to 80. That's a good year. As a coach, you start off with 100, you're gonna end up with whatever you want to end up. So that's gonna determine your job. Same thing, front office. That's gonna determine your job. So we can't. One thing I pride myself on, Mark, man, I mind my own business. I do a great job of minding my business.
If I were a Raiders fan, I'd be furious this morning because I'm of the opinion that my head coach didn't give my team an opportunity.
Right.
And we saw how the game played. Ike, we'll take a quick break. Today's Bleav in Steelers show brought to you by BetOnline.ag. Spreads, over-unders, player props. They'll take care of all of your NFL gambling needs this season. Head over to BetOnline.ag if you want to place a bet on the action.
365, 24/7, regardless of what sport it is. Make sure y'all go to BetOnline.ag.
And you can see the promo code on your screen right now if you are watching. That is BLEAV to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online where the game starts. This game was played in Vegas, and I couldn't help but wonder if the fix was in because I still don't understand the roughing the passer penalty against Minkah Fitzpatrick. I feel terrible for players in the locker room afterwards where reporters are trying to do their jobs and get honest, candid answers. But if you're overly critical of what is an absolutely bogus call, you get fined by the league. It's a lose-lose, but I'll say it for Minkah. Yeah, it appeared he dipped his head a little bit prior to contact, but it was all shoulder pad. And that's called roughing the passer against Jimmy Garoppolo. Meanwhile, earlier in the game, there's illegal hands to the face clearly against Kenny Pickett. And then, oh, by the way, on the field goal, on the Raiders' second to last drive, where it appeared they were going to kick the field goal earlier on when there was more time on the clock, they call a penalty. Was it against DeMarvin Leal?
Yes.
Against one of the linemen. And they show like 3 replays, and I'm like, for what you're penalizing him for, I don't see where he's lifting himself up with an opposing player to try to block the field goal. Like, I know this game is being played in Vegas. The Steelers had a 2-score lead. It's as if the refs were trying to keep the Raiders in the game. I just want to see the consistency. And I'm not usually one to complain about the referees, but that roughing the passer penalty against Minkah, I understand you have to protect quarterbacks, player safety, all of that. Can you not review the replay and say, like, okay, he led with the shoulder pad. This is not a penalty. It was an egregious call last night.
Organized violence. So when it comes down to organized violence playing football, it's a fine line.
Yeah, it's I think we lost Ike for a second. I think Ike is frozen up. We will get Ike back here in a second. It was ridiculous, though. The dichotomy of you call it for one team but not the other, and the way that the situation of the game was to that point was just, it was ridiculous. Point blank period. It was ridiculous. And like, are the referees critiqued at all the way that the players would be if they were to criticize them? We're getting Ike back now.
Yeah.
Just the consistency, Ike, is what really bothered me with that play.
I mean, same way we was talking about coach decision and playmaking. You start off with 100 when it comes down to the referees. So Mark, like, Minkah did nothing wrong. I'm not even trying to make no excuse about it. He did nothing wrong. He did, like, everything he did was certified, put a blue check on it. Everything he did when he came in. So, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I know it's hard being a referee. I know it's hard as heck because it's a split decision. You got to go on your eye test. But I deal with an NBA referee. I call him Uncle. I don't want to say his name. He's like Uncle to me. And he always say, man, you rather excuse me, you rather be late on the whistle and know for sure to be early and ruin somebody's career. So he always late on that whistle. Same thing with the flag. I'd rather referee be late on the flag just to make sure than to be early and ruin somebody's career. I'm not saying that's gonna ruin Minkah's career, but I'm just saying, man, that's a big factor in that game. The game could have came out different.
Yeah.
So at the same time, referees got to get held accountable. So, and that's twice. That's twice on the Pittsburgh Steelers that happened. Now I don't know what the agenda is. And I really don't care because if you're a Pittsburgh Steelers man, you ain't worried about the referees. You want to beat somebody convincingly, so the referees don't determine the game. That's just how we always looked at it. But at the same time, man, everybody got to be accountable, from the referees to the coaching staff to the front office to the players, even to the fans. All of us got to be held accountable for our actions. So when I look at Minkah and I saw the hit, Minkah did nothing. We can say he ain't lowered the helmet. Like, you got to understand, when you going into a car crash, man, the first thing you do is tense up. So once a quarterback see you and he's coming down the pipeline, man, the first thing they do is tense up and they get in the shell. They got to protect themselves. Now, us as players, it's hard on a defensive player. So you mean to tell me I got a point, I got a target on where I need to hit you, but once you tense up, that target might change. You know, that target might go from the shoulder pads to the helmet just because you know I'm coming. They ain't got nothing to do with Minkah. They ain't got nothing to do with no defensive player. And that's what Ryan Clark was saying last week. Like, man, it's hard playing defense. Like, everything is scripted for the offense because everybody wants to score points all day. Now, as a defensive player, man, I got to protect myself. How do you protect yourself? The same way you're going to try to run over me, the same way you're going to try to score a touchdown on me, it got to be organized. And organized after that, the word that comes after that is violence, Mark. So that's all I'm saying. So it's I got to protect myself more. I'd rather pay that $43,000 fine than not protect myself. But if you look at it as a defensive player, it's even harder to play now. We can't even do nothing. You see them guys on the field now, they're always looking around for the flag first, then they get to celebrate. So it's hard playing defense. Offense, man, you got plenty mulligans, Mark. Plenty. You got plenty. On the defensive side, we ain't got no mulligans. So the ones who play violent, super violent, either they gonna sit, get fined, or get kicked out the game. And that's even in college. So what you want a player to do? And you know what? I'd rather do that than get hurt. Sit me out before I hurt myself. If I feel like I'm toning my tone down, and that's my personality on how I play football, off of being aggressive, I don't even want to play, Mark.
Wow.
I don't even want to play. So I see what Minkah is doing. Like, Minkah did everything. That's a coaching point. Like, when you come and you blitz as a safety, I'm putting that in my playbook. Like, this how you come in and hit a quarterback. You don't lower your crown. You don't lower your helmet. And I'm saying the exact same thing I'm telling you, Mark. Like, you know, it's a car crash. So when people hit a car crash and they see it coming, they tense up automatically. Like, what you want a defensive player to do? That's why I've been getting so frustrated. What y'all want us to do? Where y'all want us to hit? So we moved the target from the helmet, which I respect and I understand. And now we're going down to the knees. Mark, when I played, man, we was tearing ACLs. We said since y'all won't move the target, we blowing ACLs out.
And that's what happened last week on the Monday night game with Nick Chubb, with the knee injury.
Man, listen, I done had a few players who was playing when they was adjusting and moving the rules. Like, bro, I'd rather you hit me in the head than tear my ACL. And it's coming from the opposing teams. So that's just what it is. And if you play offense, Mark, because I play offense, I'd rather somebody just air hold me, bro. But you trying to blow my ACL, man, that might be career ending. And ain't no telling what that's gonna do. So that's how we look at it, man. We like we getting to a point where defensive guys getting to a point, Mark, we just so frustrated. Like what y'all want? So they can lower their helmet, they can lower their crown and run us over, and we just gotta take it. We just gotta eat it. Now that ain't gonna be what it's supposed to be. So I'd rather take them fines. But as soon as y'all start adjusting them rules, because the game is safe now, super safe. But it's hard on a defensive player, Mark. It's super hard. So we just like when we was adjusting, Mark, the guys on defense, we was just like, man, you know our motto, we blowing ACLs. That's what y'all want to change the rules, so we gonna blow ACL. So we saying this on the field. Like, man, I'm trying to blow your ACL. Like as soon as you come and teammates like, man, hold him up. Let me blow his ACL all the way out. Cause what y'all want us to do, man?
Wow.
So this is what it's so frustrating as a defensive player. It's like, man, y'all jeopardizing my body, my life. I'm already jeopardizing it anyway because I'm playing, especially at a high level. But
And
then
see,
how you want me to play?
Ike, this is an interesting perspective you have because I'm looking at it through the lens of last night's game, which it almost
Right.
determined the outcome of the game. And you're looking at it for more of the longevity of players' careers.
Nah, Mark, as a defensive player, it's a reason why we play defense. We like to inflict pain. For a Pittsburgh Steelers, when I played, we just like to inflict pain. And we played against some opposing offenses, and they felt the same way. So what you want to do when you got two grown men don't mind a car collision? That's all football is. It's equivalent to a car collision. So on the defensive side, how you want me to play? It's a mentality. It's a reason why we like the San Francisco 49 defense. You can see the Cleveland Browns defense. It's a reason. Pittsburgh defense. It's a reason, Mark. It's inflicting pain. That's just what it is. But you got some offensive guys, the Debo Samuels, that don't mind coming down and giving it all the way to you. You know, we talking about it as a wide receiver, the Nick Chubbs. If he didn't get hurt, he was on his way to having a good game because he was balling the first half.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the Derrick Henrys. That's just the inflicting pain. That's just what it is, Mark. So look at a guy who's 250 pounds and I ain't number 180. And I can't think twice about hitting this guy. And he's coming at me full speed. What you think that matchup? They don't even do that in boxing. In boxing, they got a weight limit. It's a weight limit in boxing. We ain't even got no weight limit for Pitt. We ain't got no weight limit for the NFL. So I got to hit a guy who's pulling, a guard who's pulling, who's 320 pounds at 180, and I can't think twice about not hitting him. So how you want me to protect myself? You know, they don't even do that.
Like, what's the solution to all of this then? Kind of go back and revert to some of the old rules. Like, I totally understand what you're trying to say on like a play where a guard is pulling, a tackle is pulling, the receiver cracks back to the inside of the defense. Like, what's the solution to all of this?
Yeah, bring back the old rules because, heck, what the new rules doing? They still get hurt. Everybody still getting hurt. Got these new and lightweight helmets, concussions and all. So just go back, take some of the rules out, man. You gotta. It's organized. I gotta get them down the best way I know how to get them down. You know.
Yeah, I mean, like I think about it too when a opposing lineman's coming at you, and has at least 100 pounds on you, sometimes more than that. You're supposed to just take that player head on. Like if that were the case, and this is no knock on you, but if you were to take a player on head on instead of just trying to take their knees out and turn the play back in, you're going to wind up in like the fifth row of the stands if you try to go head to head against another grown man who has 150 plus pounds on you. That's just the reality of the situation with how the rules are now. And so it's just like, yeah, you don't want to, I understand player safety and all of that, but there also has to be safety for the defensive players too. And this Minkah Fitzpatrick play last night, like when they're showing replay after replay, like I understand that they can't review penalties on the replay, but like that's an example of what's like, why not? Why not?
I mean, I get it. It's hard on the rough, and refs got to do what they need to do. But
Split second decision. But yeah.
Split. Sorry, but Mark, like, I mean, golly, Mink. My personal opinion, Mink ain't do nothing wrong, man. Mink ain't do nothing wrong. So when I'm looking at it, I'm like, dang, it's really that hard playing defense nowadays.
I feel terrible for the players too, Ike, because in the locker room, they're asked about it. You know that the question's coming and you have to answer it and tiptoe around it and walk on eggshells, if not for fear of getting fined from the NFL, and that's money out of your paycheck. Like, I genuinely feel bad. And the reporters have to ask the question. That's part of their jobs too.
Man, I'm just saying, like, how you want me to protect myself? That's all I'm saying as a defense. How you want me to protect myself? What you want me to do? You know, like,
terrific perspective. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that's all. And I'm probably venting right now because it's hard playing defense. It's just hard. Like 2023, as far as like defensive guys protecting themselves, it's hard. It's like, damn I gotta play perfect. And ain't no way. I'm talking about perfect as in targeting a player. But you gotta understand, in a split second, less than a split second, it's like, where you want me to hit him? Like, how you want me to let up? So, and really when he hit Jimmy, man, that's a coaching point. I'm putting that up, and that's a coaching video on how to hit him. Like, don't get low, don't get too high. Like, this would, and when Jimmy saw him, he got in his shell because he's supposed to. That's a natural instinct. As soon as he saw him, he like looked out the right corner of his eye, saw Minkah come at the last minute. And what you do, you just shell up. The same way you do in a car wreck. Like, if anybody had a car wreck, when they see it coming, they just shell up. When you don't see it coming, it's just relax. Your body just go with the flow. But when you see it coming, you just like automatically shell up. That's a natural instinct. So Minkah ain't do nothing wrong. Minkah ain't do nothing wrong. Really, he hit him more with his chest than with anything. Because if he would have hit him with the crown, they would have kicked him out. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, what you? So I got a target and a target move. So I got to anticipate and make anticipate. It's just like being a sniper. You got a target, but when you anticipate pulling that trigger off of the movement on where they're going to be or where they're going to go. If somebody running, you checking the tempo, the speed, you holding your breath, you relax, boom. Same thing as a defensive player. Like, I'm checking the tempo, the speed. As soon as I relax and I engage, I'm good.
Yeah, and Ike, the body weight penalty that they can call if you use your full body weight, here's the reality of the situation. Minkah Fitzpatrick is listed at 207. Jimmy G's at 225. So, like, Jimmy G's not a great example of this, but, like, say, for example, like Ben Roethlisberger or Deshaun Watson the week before is a great example.
Right.
I have to tackle a particular player in a very specific way, but if they're good at scrambling, they can get away from my tackle if I don't try to bring them to the ground with everything that I have, everything in my ability as a player. And Jimmy G weighs more than Minkah does. So I totally hear what you're saying, Ike, because it's just like, how do you want a defender to actually play it? What do you want them to do?
We don't even have the discussions though. We don't even get opportunity to put weight in it. We just know we don't see nothing but the ball carrier. Think about a defensive guy. Like, Mark, when I played, we cared nothing about weight. All we cared was he got the ball. So we ain't have to put a 210 or 207. We never looked at it like that. He got the ball. I got to get the ball up out of him, regardless of what it is. Like, size don't matter. That's why they say cornerbacks are so sketchy and they live on the edge, because size don't matter. We ain't thinking about size. We don't care how big you is. They real scrappy. Your good corners, the Jalen Ramses, they scrappy. The Jair's Alexanders, they scrappy. They like we don't have the opportunity to think about how big you are until we retire. Into these podcast shows, Mark, we don't have them opportunities, man. We don't look at size. That's why they so scrappy. That's why they always get in the fights. Like I don't know. We don't see size. We don't have the opportunity to be like, oh, he's 350. Nah, we just like what we doing.
And you told me it's like you got to be wired a little bit differently when a 300-pound lineman's coming your way, and it's you and him.
Mark, you ain't even thinking. You ain't even thinking about no size. Like, I got to protect my house at all costs. That's what you're thinking on the field. Like, I have to protect. And we don't even know we're that size. I mean, we can get into the animal kingdom and size don't matter. Because you so territorial, you want to protect your territory. Just look how if we really want to talk, just look at the aggressive animals that we like. We like sharks. We like lions. Ain't none of them. It ain't bigger than the killer whale. It ain't bigger than whales. It ain't bigger. A lion ain't bigger than the elephant. A lion ain't bigger than the giraffe. Why we like them? Because they're aggressive. Same way, it's the same thing. We just in the animal kingdom, but we put it on the field.
And Ike, if I were a corner, if this were me in the league, I played at a high school level. I didn't play in college or the pros. Right. But if there's a fullback, a guard, or a tackle coming to block me and the receiver's cracking down on the inside of the defense, I had a buddy of mine at practice, and I would do it every time. And he'd be like, why are you going for my knees? And I'd be like, just don't block me. I'm not winding up in the fifth row of the stands because I'm not going to win a one-on-one battle with someone who has 50, 100, 150 pounds on me. Not doing it. I'm not doing it. And you can flag me, Ike. Honestly, if I were a current cornerback, you can flag me on every play, and we can do flags all the way down the field. I'm not doing it. You have to force the play back in. Like, it's like you want me to go head-to-head against someone who has 150 pounds on me? How's that safe for the corner?
I respect it. So we walking a fine line on this conversation. So how is that safe for a cornerback and me hitting the offensive lineman knees? How is that safe as well? But at the same time, you got enough film on tape. I know offensive linemen who as soon as they knew their person, as soon as they saw 2-4 and they saw 2-4 like to go low, they was going low with me. So sometimes I get sput like a ketchup bottle top. So and that's just what it is, Mark. So by the end of the day, man, you stay injury free by violence on the football field.
If you're not going 100%, Ike, if you're not going full speed, that's when you're going to get hurt.
Either you're gonna get hurt or you're not gonna play. That's just what it is. And that's just what it was for me, Mark. So I'm just venting for the defensive players. Bro, it's hard. It's hard as hell playing defense, man. It's hard. We can't. Offensive players get to go through a stop sign. Defensive players, we can't even roll through a stop sign. We actually got to stop. So that's, in that perspective, that's how hard it is.
Ike, terrific perspective. A few other game notes. Steelers used the play action and they targeted Pat Freiermuth. We tried to tell our listeners and viewers and the Steelers fans, and look what happens. You score touchdowns, you get 2-score leads, and good things happen. Ike, I was watching that game. I sent you a text last night. It put a smile on my face where it's like, oh, Freiermuth's getting targets again, and they utilized the play action pass.
Hey, the quarterback's favorite target, the quarterback's safety valve, just ask Patrick Mahomes who he loved. And he would say, I love Travis Kelce. Because he's always thinking what I'm thinking. We always on the same page. Just ask 2-time Super Bowl champion Patrick Mahomes, man. What the heck going on over there? And he gonna tell you who your favorite target. His name is Travis. And matter of fact, she got Ike's last name. He got somebody's last name of Ike at the game. And it ain't and it's Swift. First name Taylor. You feel me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like we just like that's a quarter. That's a quarter. Tight ends for quarterbacks is like grandmas for kids. It's a soothing. It's a calm. It's a I want to go see grandpa or grandma kind of atmosphere. Like only grandmas and grandpas can get a baby to stop crying, and they ain't even got to know 'em. That's the same thing with tight ends with quarterbacks. You catch you a Hall of Fame tight end or a good tight end, I'm always looking. Lamar Jackson. Now, out of everybody we talk to outside of Lamar Jackson, who he like? Mark Andrews. Like he gonna go to him all day. So yeah, I get it. I understand. But I know from a quarterback, when the house is burning down, they go into their tight ends. That's just what it is. And guess what Pittsburgh did? Pat Freiermuth, like PF, PF had a good day. And he hit him with that a few times. He hit him with the dab a few times. So that's all Kenny Pickett need to do.
Ike, I think I lost you for a second, but I think I got you back.
Yeah, I'm moving, but I see you. All right, you ain't froze no more.
We're back. We're back. I'm sorry about that, Ike. I sneezed. It started a YouTube video, so I was hearing a YouTube video and your voice at the exact same time,
That's
all
crazy.
because of a sneeze.
That's crazy.
But I love your analogy, grandmas and tight ends. Tight ends are to quarterbacks, but grandmas and grandpas are to society. An amazing analogy, Ike.
No, Mark.
Makes me want some cookies. If I'm being honest with you right now.
No, Mark. If you think about it, Mark, like that's just what it is. Like it's just a soothing. It's a soothing feeling. Mark, like I mean, you see it, Pat. You see Pat, Travis. You can see Kenny. You can see Kenny and Pat. Like all your tight ends, man. They just you can see Lamar and Mark and like Andrews. Like that's we talk about everybody outside of Andrews when Lamar Jackson feel like he need a play when it comes down to throwing, where he go? He go to Andrews. That's just what it is. Like your tight ends are your tight ends. When Brock need to play, where he go? We go on to Kittles.
Mhm.
Kittles might not have a catch. If I need this clutch play where I'm going to Kittles. That's just what it is. That tight ends are the ultimate mismatch. They too big for corners, they too savvy for safeties, and linebackers can't cover. That's the biggest mismatch. That's like having a power forward on the field, and everybody else playing point guard at 6'2", 6'3". So, and usually if you 6'6" in the league, you're on the defensive line. I ain't gonna ask you to cover no Kittles, Travis Kelce, or no Pat at all. So that's what I'm saying. Like when we talking about our Pat Freiermuth, man, that's crucial. And we've been talking about it for a minute, man. You get that tight end involved, boy, it's the ultimate mismatch. Because last night, all he was doing was making first downs or touchdowns. That's all he did. Couple of catches, first downs and touchdowns. That's all he did. Hey, how you doing? I'm here. Use me. And we was talking about him and Darnell. And they used Darnell and Pat. So, I mean, you know, we talk things into existence.
I'm here for it, Ike.
When y'all watching the Ike Taylor and the Mark Bergin Bleav still a podcast show, and we talk about something the week before it happened, it usually happens.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Ike, a few other things we'll get to, and at any point, stop me if you want to hop in. Steelers win time of possession last night. They win the rushing game. Josh Jacobs was the NFL's leading rusher a year ago. They hold the Raiders to 69 yards rushing. Steelers have 105 yards rushing. Chris Boswell, redemption game, 3 of 3 from field goals, hits a 57-yarder. Career field goals of 50-plus yards, Boswell has 27. All other Steelers kickers combined have 27. Redemption season, last year he had his worst statistical season since 2018. Both of them marred by injuries. Chris Boswell, good on you. Presley Harvin III, I mentioned his punt. I think he's been key late. A lot of hang time, coffin corner punts, winning the field position battle. That's huge. Calvin Austin III getting into the mix. Long touchdown. I liked what I saw in the return game from the second-year player playing in what is essentially his rookie year. I liked that. Levi Wallace redemption game. He had a rough 2 first weeks. He has 2 interceptions last night. Patrick Peterson getting an interception as well. We know what to expect from TJ Watt, 2 sacks. There's a lot of stats that make him stand out. That's like the grass is green, the sky's blue, and TJ Watt's going to make plays off the edge. A lot that I liked from the Steelers last night, Ike, and this was the type of game where I wanted to see, based on what I saw from the first 2 weeks, is can you make improvements? I thought we saw that last night.
It was a Jaylen Warren kind of game last night. So Jaylen Warren became the 1, Najee became the 2. It's going to be some games where Najee the 1 and Jaylen going to become the 2. But the fact that you can acknowledge and respect that's just what it was. It was a Calvin Austin III game, an Allen Robinson game yesterday. Because we knew coming to the game, as I'm just speaking off my opinion, that we got to make sure we just simmer down some of George Pickens because he's a true one. It was a Pat Freiermuth kind of game. So that's exactly what it was. It was a defensive line game. Like the defensive line, we was talking about the defensive line and what they needed to do. The defensive line last night did everything they needed to do. Off of substitution, you gotta look at it from a Pittsburgh front office standpoint. It's a young D line, like the young boys making plays.
Yes,
the O'Neills, like it's rookies and the second year guy. Them boys making plays, so they ain't nothing but good hope for the Pittsburgh Steelers and their roster on having some kind of depth. You know, so that's what kind of the Levi's, who we talk about the Levi Wallace kind of game. We talk about Levi all the time. Like, it's a lot of fans that don't really, you know, they just look at the plays, but let me get this pick. He started it off. He had the pick. Then Pat Pete got the pick after him. That's just it's a closing kind of game. And you know, TJ Watt, you said it best, man. You can't say it no better than what you just said. Man, the grass is green, the sky is blue. Who we talking to? TJ Watt. You already know, man. Don't even fight it. Like, don't even fight right now who's the best defensive player in the league. It's TJ Watt. You ain't even got to fight it. I know y'all want to talk about athleticism and so-and-so can do this and that. This is what TJ do. And he ain't even playing every snap. And other than rush, he got to cover. Ain't nobody better than TJ Watt. Mark, ain't nobody better. On that defensive side, in the NFL, that's just my personal opinion. Ain't nobody better than that man. I can get to a game and still lead the league, and I only played 10 games. What y'all talking about? That's what it do. Don't let me hit 17 games, because I probably go for the 33 piece. It's gonna be over 30 sacks. I play 17 games, that's gonna be over 30 sacks. Just look at my resume. I done got over 80 something sacks faster than anybody. I only played 90 games. I think last night was his 90th game. So everybody else got 139 games, 135 games, 112 games to get these sacks. Man, I done did that damn near a fourth of that. That's what TJ doing. So God don't say he's the best defensive player in the league right now. Ain't nobody playing better than him. And I don't play every snap. Sometimes I gotta go on the sideline and get that Gatorade bottle and get a break. And that's off the coaching decision. Chill out. I'm gonna need you for later. That's crazy. Y'all want me to put the cape on. You can't say everybody can get a chance to put the cape on and make a play. You go into the game plan knowing you gotta stop TJ. What 90 at? He's sitting on the same side all the time in his rocket chair, just chilling. And you didn't study and watch tape, and you know what he's gonna do. And get what? He still do it.
Yeah, Ike, first player to record 6 sacks and have a defensive touchdown in a team's first 3 games of a season since they started tracking sacks back in 1982. It's historic. 6 pressures last night, 2 sacks on 29 pass rushes against Jermaine Illuminor for the Raiders. And coming into the game, he was among the best right tackles in the league, allowing just a 2.1% pressure rate coming into Sunday night's game, and TJ Watt still able to make plays. And Ike, I also think it's encouraging too that Marcus Golden had a sack, his second in as many games too, and he's your reserve player. He's not even your starter. So you've got great depth with Golden and Herbig, because when they come into the game, they're fresh. They're established players in their own right. Obviously, no one's TJ Watt, but if he or Alex Highsmith, hey, I need a breather on the sidelines, I need some Gatorade, I have all the confidence in the world in both of those players. This is something that the Steelers didn't have in previous seasons, is the depth.
Productivity. So I got 44, 51, and 90. That's my rotation. That's a hell of a rotation, especially if they get sacks. So that's all you, as a coaching staff, that's all you want and you look for. I got 44 in Golden, I got 51 in Herbig, and I got 90 in White. And we coming. Yeah. And by the way, they got a guy called Alex Highsmith as well. He had over double-digit sacks last year, too. We just don't talk about him enough. But quietly, he get a job done. So we talking about at least 5 who can get to the quarterback, 4 for sure. But we talking about 5 on the outside linebacker position that can get to the quarterback. By the way, sometimes I need y'all to cover. Hey, Alex, what you did last week? I just had a pick to the house. like we say to play outside linebacker for Pittsburgh, man, you just don't. When your opportunity to come to rush a quarterback, oh, it's Christmas time. So and this is what I'm saying. We outside linebackers for Pittsburgh defense don't have the luxury of just rushing every play. They don't have that luxury. Because if they did, man, if TJ and Alex Highsmith got opportunity just to rush every play and not have to worry about a coverage, Mark, ain't no telling. Ain't no both of them going for the 20. You get 20 over there, I get 20 over here. 20 who? Last name sacks. And we ain't talking about the designer stuff. We just talking about sacks on the field. Y'all talking about SAKS. We talking about SACKS. Sacks. You feel me? So that's what we talking about. Them boys don't even have that luxury, Mark.
Yeah, and I know that's your argument for why James Harrison belongs in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, because his numbers would be even better than they already are if you rushing the passer on every play.
Man, the man got cut 3 times. He got cut and went to Canada, so 4 years. Now put 4 more years on this NFL starting career. Put 4 on Debo. We gave him that nickname, Debo. Put 4. Put from Friday, the movie Friday. Put 4 more years on that man and see what happened. See, he got caught up in a numbers game and he was an undrafted, but he was smoking. He had a body count. He was having body counts before Debo was Debo. It's crazy. You see it as a player. Why the hell he ain't starting? You see it.
Yeah. I think Watt is similar off the edge in the sense that the edge rushers are. Well, what I'm saying is that the disruption that they cause, not just sacking quarterbacks, and a lot of it's the TFLs, a lot of it's what you're asking a defensive end to do in a 4-3 scheme, but you're also seeing the interceptions as well, like in the turnover creation. In the Steelers scheme, it's not like other teams to where, yeah, TJ Watt's going to pass rush on more downs than not, but they do drop into coverage. That's evident if you watch the Steelers team week in and week out.
Mark.
That's what I'm saying in terms of the similarity.
No, I feel exactly what you say. You gotta look at it like this, Mark. TJ as a defensive lineman, outside linebacker, right? Has Troy Polamalu Patrick instincts. Defensive linemen don't have that. So that's why he's rare and he's different. The quarterback about to throw the ball, I'm about to jump up and catch this pick. Like that's what's so good about TJ. Usually guys who just have a feel for the ball, they're very instinctive. They're on the back end. They linebackers or safeties or corners. We caught us one right there on the front end with that kind of instincts. We're not talking about other defensive linemen getting picks, batting the ball down, PBUs. At one point in time, TJ Watt was leading. He was leading Pittsburgh in PBUs. Mark, that don't happen often. You can't even name. We ain't even talking. I don't even want to say other people. I don't even want to say other defensive linemen that they consider it. We ain't even saying PBUs and interceptions with them. So why TJ? Why we can't say TJ is the most dominant defensive player in the league? I sack, I get pressure, I cause fumbles, and I get picks as a defensive lineman. So what we talking? What's the argument? What we
Maybe
talking about?
maybe Micah Parsons, Ike, but other than that, maybe.
And I love Micah. I love him to death. But what we talking about? What we talking about?
Yeah.
What's like really, straight up dog, straight dog. Love him to death. He like to call himself a lion. He's a lion. He say he's a lion. He's a lion. But God dang, if he's a lion, TJ is an alien. For sure. Just look at what he be doing, man. In less games over the course of his career, like the man got interceptions to the crib. The man got fumble recoveries to the crib. He a magnet for the ball.
That's the word I was going to use, Ike. He and Minkah, it's like, oh, another turnover. Why am I not surprised? Regardless of how their game planned for.
You can game plan, and it's easy to game plan TJ. So you just put a tight end over there to try to chip him or a running back to chip him. And he
or
still,
both.
He still come through with the double team.
Yeah.
So it's just like me going against two sumo wrestlers. It's still coming through with the sack. Boy, that's hard.
Like week 4, Steelers are going to play the Texans, and the Texans are 1-2, but coming off a win against the Jaguars. I'll tell you what, CJ Stroud's looked good through 3 weeks. You look at the box scores, 280 yards, 2 touchdowns against the Jaguars. They win 37-17. Against the Colts in week 2, he had 384 yards and 2 touchdowns. He had 242 yards against the Ravens in the opener. Stroud's doing his thing. We like Stroud and Richardson coming out of the draft, and I know it's revisionist history, but Bryce Young doesn't play yesterday due to injury. Don't sleep on this Texans team, and Ike, you always tell me this too. You take the identity of your head coach, and D'Amico Ryans, I have the confidence that he's going to be able to turn things around, particularly considering that I'm of the opinion that the AFC South hasn't been one of the stronger divisions in football. So I like what the Texans are doing. You can't look past this Houston team. Steelers do open as 3-point favorites on the road for week 4.
You got a young coach who's a very good coach. You got a young core on the offensive side. So you got Tank Dell, wide receiver from Houston. You got Pierce, running back from Florida, and you got C.J. Stroud. So you got your triple option right there. And yesterday, all three of them balled out. So the future is bright, and they're gonna be well coached, and the defense is gonna play their defense. And that's exactly what the defense did. The defense balled out yesterday. So I already know what Coach T said today, right now, in the meetings, while they sit in the meetings. Please don't sleep on the Texans. You talking about a young, good core of athletes between Tank, the receiver, Pierce as the running back, and CJ as the quarterback. They're going to get the job done. They don't even know they just getting started. And by the way, the head coach was the defense coordinator for the San Francisco 49ers. And all Fred Warner talk about is him. And we all know what Fred is to the San Francisco 49ers defensive group. So you can say what you want to say. Another AFC. We didn't hit. So we got Cleveland out of the way, got the Raiders out of the way, trying to get the Texans out of the way. Because by the end of the year, man, when they look at the AFC record, like, okay, they have opportunity, providing that we do good in our division. They have opportunity to go ahead and slide in the playoffs. And we just want the invite. We just trying to get the invite to the playoffs. But the Texans, don't get it twisted. They're gonna be well prepared. We just can't make more mistakes than them.
We'll have a full preview later this week. Typically go on Friday mornings, kind of react to the Thursday night game, and then to preview the weekend ahead. So stay tuned for that later this week. Steelers make an emergency landing this morning in Kansas City, and multiple media reports indicating that the flight landed just before 4 a.m. Central Time because of oil pressure failure in one of the engines. Everyone is okay. And I thought this was hilarious. Let me bring in this tweet here. Cam Hayward getting into the mix here a little bit, saying that that everyone's okay. He made a joke about the roughing the passer penalty against Minkah, but then also saying that the Steelers might need a ride from Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. I'm glad to see everyone's okay, but man, that disruption of after playing a night game in Vegas, trying to get back into the swing of things, a little bit of a shortened week. You're not playing at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Glad everyone's okay, though.
Come on, Plane. Don't Jiffy Lube me, man. You can't not go to Jiffy Lube and not understand, man, I need my oil change. Like, you know, what we doing with the maintenance? You know, and that's what I'm saying, Mark. Well, we go through so much stuff that people don't even know about. Emergency landing, all the way up there, 30,000 feet in the air, all the way up. And we got to slide back down because ain't nobody go to Jiffy Lube. Come on, man.
You're hilarious.
Man, change this all for your boy, man. Y'all, that's supposed to be protocol, man. Y'all should already know every plane, how many miles it got on it, and who went to Jiffy Lube.
Did you ever have any travel disruptions during your 12-year playing career?
Yeah. No, we had a stint. It wasn't never emergency landing, but sitting up there in them clouds, them clouds mad at you, and you're going up, down, and your head might hit the ceiling a few times, regardless if you had a seatbelt or not. Like, man, you get to praying, boy. You get to praying, to the good man, or whoever you believe in. You get to praying to him and be like, man, I'm sorry. Why these clouds mad at me? Because you hit a certain kind of cloud. That turbulence, Mark, that thing up and down. And you ain't nothing you can do. You on their time. When you get in the clouds, y'all on my time. So if I'm mad, y'all about to see and feel that I'm mad. ain't nothing you can do. Ain't nothing you can do. So, yeah, I done had a few. No emergency landings though, Mark, but yeah, I had a few when it came down to turbulence.
Were you praying next to Troy?
You know what? If you anywhere near Troy, you know you're going to see Jesus. I ain't even tripping. If you anywhere near Troy, if you anywhere near him, you know you in good hands. No State Farm. You know you in good hands when you next to Troy. MB, you in good hands, bro. I'm trying to tell you, like, and that was my seat partner, so I already knew. Like, I'm sitting next. His nickname was Baby Jesus. That's Troy's nickname, Baby Jesus. So if I'm sitting up there, and we almost halfway up there with him, I'm gonna go there and hug her because I'm going where he going.
Like when we've talked to you, your former teammates, they always mention like, okay, I don't really miss the sport. You miss the guys, the camaraderie, locker room. I'd imagine sometimes the team planes after the fact, recapping the game, what went well, what didn't. That might have been some of the most enjoyable times and memories for you. Would you say that's the case as a player in terms of after the game? It's like not even so much what happened on the field, but then getting to be able to relive it with your teammates after the fact.
The plane rides, Mark, epic. The plane rides back?
Yeah.
Man, listen. They want to talk about Ike T with the Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow had a good pass. That was a good game planning. I got a mean ass stiff arm from Demaryius Thomas with that game winning. I'm cool off of that. They ain't never won a Super Bowl, right? Y'all can have it. Y'all can talk all y'all want to on that one. But the one with Jake Plummer, the game that we won when I did have that pick, and we was flying back to Pittsburgh. You talking about an epic flight back to Pittsburgh? Listen, I promise you. Social media, what we was doing when I was playing, social media, y'all, them people weren't ready, man. Them people as in the world wasn't ready for what we was doing. So that plane ride back, Mark, listen. Just think about something you want to do or wanted to do. All right, that's what we did on the plane. Whatever you want to do on the plane,
yeah,
that's what we did on the plane.
That's
just
awesome.
just bam, catch a thought right there. Whatever your thought process, bam, that's what we did. Catch another thought, Mark. Bam, that's what you talking about. Epic plane rides. Oh man. Now I see why we still 20 to 30 to this day in a group text. Damn near every day. Talking to each other. Man, everything we did was epic. Everything, man. Everything. We tried to live by the book. Mark, we tried. We started our season off. That 2005, we started our season off slow. We tried to be great citizens, great. Just go by the book. Go home 8:30, 9 o'clock. Get you some rest. That didn't work. We did better by living a rock star life. So we did better by coming home 3, 4 in the morning, going straight to workouts. And we just carry that over. And you know what our motto was? We bring in Miami, we bring in Brazil, we bring in LA, we bring in Hawaii, we bring in New York, we bring in Canada to Pittsburgh. So we're bringing all these cities to Pittsburgh. This is what we doing. And slowly but surely, W after W after W after W after W after W. Well, how you got How you got to win 6 games to get in the tournament and win 6 games to get in the tournament? Mark, when I say I can't script this, a producer, a writer can't script what we did. What we did, they have no ink for our pen. I tell you that. But we so what I'm saying like a lot of young people do now and they post it, I'm like, man, y'all 30 years late. We did this. We've been doing this.
Like, two thoughts come to mind immediately. The one was when we talked to your teammate Bryant McFadden, and he was telling us about the in-season trips you would take to Miami and New York and Vegas and everything. And when you guys would go visit New York City in Diddy, you'd go visit Diddy's club Justice.
Yeah.
And he thought that you guys lived in New York City. And it's like, no, we're the Pittsburgh Steelers. That cracked me up.
Hey, listen. Man, Mark. I don't want to get nobody in trouble. You're right. So,
All right. I'll continue on though. But when I see Kirk Cousins last year doing his thing on the plane too, twinkle in your eye to where it's just like that's something where clearly to me it's like you can relate as a player based on your own successes as a player.
Yeah, what Kurt did, they put the chains on it, and they videotaped that went viral. Like Kurt would just, cause Kurt real live Christian church going, dude, great citizen, just so happened to be a good football quarterback in the NFL. That's what Kurt is. Kurt outside his element. Kurt evolved. Kurt was like, man, what we doing, man? They done got Kurt out of his element. Kurt got everybody on the plane, chains on, going crazy. Now it went so crazy when he was one of the hosts for the ESPYs. Guess what he had on? About 30 chains. No Mr. T. You feel me? So that's what it is, Mark. Like, this is what football do, man. Football, all walks of life. When you get to that level, or just in general, football brings everybody together. Like I met my wife at a football game, or I just proposed to my wife at a football game, or I just found my best friend without even knowing it's my best friend for life at a football game. Like football don't care what color you is. Football don't care what religion you is. We all got one common goal, and that's winning. And then from a fan standpoint, man, once you really love your team, you love your team. So it's crazy. I can pack that. That's why for football players, that's what's so misunderstanding to us or misunderstood to us. Like how we can pack a stadium full of 70,000 and love one another, and then when we leave the stadium, we hate one another. That's how we always looked at it as football players. Like, then a complete stranger who's sitting right beside me, don't even know him, but we got the same team jersey or a particular player we like jersey on, and we can laugh at the same time. We can cry together and have some comfort. As soon as I step outside and leave that parking lot, I hate them. Like we never understood that as players. So that's what I love about football. Football makes humans selfless. That's what football do. And that's why we love, as players, that's why we love football. Because it just brings everybody, just look at the atmosphere of America. Once the fall comes, everybody in a whole different mode. They can't wait. They can't wait till the end of July, August come. Man, America can't wait, Mark. Like once February come, it's like, dang, when August coming back? It's taking too long for August.
We talked to Lee Steinberg a few times, the agent for Patrick Mahomes and the agent who the movie Jerry Maguire is based off of. And Ike, every year he tells us in 2022, for example, 82 of the top 100 watched broadcasts on television are the NFL. And if you include college football in there, that number grows to 87 of the top 100 watched broadcasts are football. Right. Tells me everything I need to know. And the Super Bowl tops that list every year.
Love. No, that's real, Mark. I'm on a podcast. Can I call you back?
Yeah, it's very real, Ike. Final few topics of the show, Ike. Week 3 observations. I thought the Ravens absolutely got hosed by the referees. How it wasn't a pass interference penalty against EJ Speed against Zay Flowers. I thought it was a blatant, clear pass interference. Ike, you're shaking your head. And this is where we're going to agree to disagree. And the Colts take care of the Ravens, and they're tied atop the AFC North. So the Steelers sitting pretty, and they benefit from it. I thought it was a pass interference penalty against the Colts. But what say you, Ike?
If your last name ain't Rooney and you ain't running the Steelers organization, that was a great call. That was a great non-call.
Okay.
Mark, that was a great between Cleveland, Baltimore, and Cincy. I would love great calls. Hold the flag. That's just like me asking for a cup of coffee. Hold me on the sugar. That's a great call. Perfect. So yes, we can dispute all day. I get what you're saying, MB. Great call. That's a heck of a call. Whoever made that call should get a bonus.
I hope someone picks this up and is not understanding your sarcasm at all and takes what you're saying verbatim, literally. I hope that's what happens.
I don't even care how they take it, Mark. They can take it how they want.
Oh, man. Okay.
Great
Taylor Swift at the Chiefs-Bears game. That was the highlight for the Bears. Chiefs, absolutely. I think the Chiefs could have scored 60 if they wanted. And speaking of scoring 60, the Dolphins say, I'm going to one-up that. The Dolphins scoring 70 points is a rough weekend if you're a Colorado football fan. Buffalo's, Broncos, they'll regroup. But here's the most incredible part to me, Ike. The Broncos lose by 50 points.
Right.
And they are 3-point favorites in week 4 against the Chicago Bears.
That's letting you know how bad the Bears is. But listen here.
Woo.
Yeah, that's letting you know how bad the Bears is. If I lose by 50, but next week I'm still a 3-point favorite in the next game, whoever the other team is, like, damn. So you gotta look at it like this here though. Running back score four touchdowns. Then the backup running back score 4 touchdowns. And we ain't even talk about Tua. So my starting running back score 4, the backup score 4, Tua. We ain't even talk about Tua yet. So what would Mike McDaniels, the head coach for the Miami Dolphins, who just so happened to be the offensive coordinator. And we didn't matter of fact, we ain't have Waddle either. Waddle didn't play that game.
Correct.
So we probably would have scored 85. Let's just say it. Let's say Waddle good for a tutty. Let's just say 7. I gotta say 85 because he's gonna get yards in chunks, just like Cheetah. So I'm just saying 85 to be nice. 85. Waddle didn't even play. 85.
Ike, is there
Mike
anything
McDaniels
that they're doing?
He has a formation of the week. Just start paying attention.
Okay.
Regardless of who they playing, they got a formation of the day. Every week. He knew how the New England Patriots was going to play him. He used, personnel-wise, he used Cheetah as a fullback to come in and out the backfield. Waddle gets hurt. He used Berrios as the main, so it can make Cheetah be open on some plays. Like just look at what he's doing as an OC, Mark. I'm like, this dude is past a genius. He's a wizard. Like this next week, he's gonna have a flavor for the week. Like I wish people just can go in my brain sometimes on how to analyze and break it down. Mike McDaniels, by far, is the best. Then after Mike is Coach Kyle Shanahan. Then after Coach Kyle Shanahan, I think it's Sean Payton. I'm talking about wizardry. Then after Shanahan, I give Coach Andy Reid his props. Then it's Sean McVay. Out the 4 coaches I just named, when it comes down to being wizard, 3 of them was on the same staff in Washington. Kyle was on the same. Kyle was on the same staff from Washington with Sean. Sean was on the same staff. With Mike McDaniels. Them three were sitting there in Washington, all on the offensive side, just chilling. Now just look what they're doing. just Sean already got him one. It was just an elbow away from Brock Purdy and the San Francisco 49ers on getting him one. Now, if Tua stay healthy, or Waddle or Cheetah on the field, one or the other, ain't no telling what they doing. You can't knock what they not doing. Man, they doing college. They playing college out. They playing college ball out.
It's historic, Ike. It's historic.
Mark. But look at the three coaches I just named. One was away, one game away in San Fran from winning the Super Bowl. The other one at the Rams already won one. And if Tua stay healthy this year, if Tua, Cheetah, and Waddle, we as in this how the Miami Dolphins talking. We just need Tua to stay healthy. Coach Mike McDaniels gonna figure it out between Waddle or Cheetah. If he got one of them, we got action.
Mostert's fast too, and then you're going to get Jalen Ramsey back at some point this season as well.
All right, take Jalen. Just take defense out of it.
Yeah,
this team is ran from the offensive side. So Mostert 4-3, Waddle 4-3, Cheetah 4-3, and I forgot the young running back behind Mostert. He 4-3. So I got 4 threes all across. All they don't need this hole. All they need is a crack in the dough. And once they get that crack in the dough, I don't know if people ever study history. You know what a ninja do? A ninja just need oxygen. And that's all. They don't need nothing else but oxygen to show to display what they're gonna do. Waddle, Mossford, Tua, Cheetah. All they need is, and they show you every weekend what they can do. And with that in, run past people very fast.
Ike, I love it. I absolutely love it. Any final thoughts before we sign off here, Ike? This has been an absolutely loaded episode here of the Bleav in Steelers show.
Man, listen. I just want to thank Mark Bergin for being a brother to me. I want to thank Bleav in Steelers podcast for giving us the opportunity. BetOnline.ag for just rocking with us since day one. Make sure y'all go subscribe on YouTube. Make sure y'all give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts. I want to thank all the viewers and listeners for tuning in. But today was a hell of a podcast. Mark, I don't know how you're going to break it down. You need to break this down in segments. We need to Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Break this down because, boy, it's some good content right today.
A lot of good wisdom here, Ike, and you're certainly a part of that as well. I really enjoyed our discussion about Minkah Fitzpatrick and talking about defensive player safety and all of that, Ike, but you're the absolute best. You thanked our sponsor and then the Bleav Network too. Ike, we'll be back later this week to get our listeners and viewers ready for Steelers Texans in week 4. Steelers trying to make it a 3-game winning streak. You're going to be sitting pretty, Ike, at the first quarter of the season, potentially at 3-1, headed into the Baltimore Ravens game in week 5. So good things are ahead here on the Bleav in Steelers show. I want to thank the listeners and the viewers. Thanks for rocking with us too. And Ike, up to 3,000 YouTube subscribers. We're going to keep that growing more and more here in the coming weeks. So stay tuned here on the Bleav in Steelers show.
Let's get to that 5,000. And I'm sorry for cutting you off because that's your outro. So
you're fine, Ike.
You can reset and take off, man. My bad, Mark.
Ike, no need to apologize. I interrupt you all the time, but I will sign off for the both of us here. For Ike Taylor, I'm Mark Bergin. Thanks for watching and listening to the Bleav in Steelers show. We'll see you later this week. Until then, take care and so long, everybody.
Peace.